Good morning, students. Today's class is in continuation with our previous class. We will continue with chapter number 4 of your English literature book, which is 3 at Table by William Weimar Jacobs. But before continue reading the text, let's go through a few word meanings. You can write these word meanings in your book for better understanding of the text. If you will direct me to the nearest village, I shall be grateful, I remarked. The nearest place is 3 miles off, he said. If you will give me the pleasure of your good company, I will make you as comfortable as I can. I hesitated. They were certainly a queer looking couple, and the gloomy hall with the shadows thrown by the candle looked hardly more pleasant than the darkness outside. The old man or the host invited the sailor, and the sailor was feeling very hesitant, as they were certainly a queer looking or a strange looking couple, and the gloomy hall or the sad looking hall was looking really unpleasant to the sailor. He felt that it's better to be outside in the cold than be inside in this strange place with this strange couple. But now he had no choice than to go inside their house. You are very kind, I murmured. But come in, he said quickly, shut the door, and almost before I knew it, I was standing inside. I followed my host into the room, and taking the chair, I warmed my frozen fingers at the fire. Now the sailor told the old man that it was really kind of him to invite him in. The sailor went inside following his host and took a chair, and he warmed his frozen fingers at the fire since it was really cold. Dinner will soon be ready, said the old man. I bowed and he left the room. A minute after, I heard his and the old woman's voices, and I fancied a third. Before I had finished my inspection of the room, he returned and announced, there will be 3 of us at the dinner. We two and my son. I suppose you don't mind dining in the dark, he said abruptly. Not at all, I replied, hiding my surprise. But really, I am afraid I am intruding. If you'll allow me, he waved his huge hands. It's seldom we have company. My son's eyes are bad, and he can't stand the light. Ah, here is Anne. So now, the old man told the sailor that the dinner will be ready in some time, and he has left the room. And the sailor at that time is doing the inspection of the room. He is just going around in the room, and in a few minutes the sailor could hear the old man talking to his wife, and he also felt that there was one more voice. But before he could come up with any conclusion, or before he could finish his inspection of the room, the old man returned, and he said that there will be 3 of them at the dinner. That is, the old man, the sailor, and the old man's son. The old man also inquired if the sailor had any issues eating in the dark. To this, the sailor replied that he was absolutely fine with anything, and he also said that he didn't want to intrude in their privacy. The old man at this replied that it's quite rare that they have a company, and gave him a reason that his son's eyes were bad, and that's why this idea of eating in the dark was suggested. The old woman entered and began to lay the cloth, while my host, taking a chair the other side of the fireplace, sat looking silently into the fire. The table set, the old woman placed 3 chairs and left the room. The old man rose from his chair, placed a large screen in front of the fire, and slowly extinguished all the candles. Blind man's holiday, he said, and groping his way to the door, opened it. Somebody came back into the room with him and took a seat at the table. The strangest voice I have ever heard broke the silence. Now, students, while the sailor and the old man were talking, they were interrupted by the old woman who came in. The old woman came to do her work. She laid the tablecloth and placed 3 chairs before leaving the room. The old man was sitting silently at the other side of the fireplace, and when she left the room after finishing her work, he rose from his chair and placed a large screen in front of the fire, blocking all the light. He also extinguished all the candles. Now, since it was dark and nothing was visible, so the old man, groping his way to the door, opened it really carefully, and someone entered the room with him and took a seat at the table. There was complete silence in the room, but a strange voice broke that silence. A cold night, it said slowly. Yes, I replied. It was somewhat difficult eating in the dark, and it was obvious from the behavior of my invisible companions that they were not used to dining under such circumstances as I was. We ate in silence until the old woman came into the room with some sweets. Are you a stranger here? Inquired the curious voice again. I replied in the affirmative and murmured something about being lucky stumbling upon such a good dinner. There was something so strange about the whole business. I could see a pair of wild eyes shining like a cat's. Now, they are having their dinner in such a strange circumstance, and it was quite uneasy for the sailor. There was silence again while they continued to eat. The woman came with some sweets, and then the strange voice again broke the silence when he inquired if the sailor was a stranger in that area. To this, the sailor responded positively, and he also murmured that he was quite lucky to have such a good company and such a good dinner. He felt quite strange about the whole situation, could see a pair of wild eyes shining like those of a cat. With a growing sense of uneasiness, I pushed my chair back. It caught the rug, and in my efforts to disentangle it, the screen in front of the fire fell over with a crash. In the flickering light of the fire, I saw the face of the creature opposite. Man or beast, which was it? In the mere red glow of the fire of the face looked more devilish than before. Now it was getting quite uneasy for the sailor. With every passing second, he got up from his chair, pushing it backwards, but the chair caught the rug. And when he tried to disentangle it, the screen that was put in front of the fire, that screen fell, and in that light and in the light of the fire, the sailor could see the face of the person with whom he was talking until now. By looking at his face, he was so confused that he did not know if it's a man or a beast. The sailor could not make out that if it was a man or a beast, and felt that the red glow of the fire made the face look even more devilish. I beg your pardon, said I, but I have accidentally overturned the screen. Allow me to replace it. No, said the old man. Gently, let it be. We have had enough of the dark. I'll give you a light. He struck a match and slowly lit the candles. Then I saw that the man opposite had a gaunt, weird face with only one eye. Now the sailor apologized for overturning the screen, and he even asked to replace it. But the old man very gently said that they've already been in dark enough. They've already hidden their secret. Now they wanted to share the truth with the sailor. And then he lit all the candles. The sailor could now exactly see what this third person or the old man's son actually looked like. He had a weird face, very thin and bony, with only one eye. My son was injured some years ago in a burning house, said the old man. Since then, we have lived a very retired life. When you came to the door, we, his voice trembled. Now, in a trembling voice, the old man said that it all happened a few years ago. His son was injured in a burning house, and then when he was trying to say anything further, his voice trembled and he could not say anything further. I thought, said the son, that it would be better for me not to come to the dinner table. But it happens to be my birthday, and my father would not hear of my dining alone. So we hit upon this foolish plan of dining in the dark. I am sorry I startled you. Since the father's voice broke, now the old man's son continued. He said he thought it would have been better if he didn't come to the dining table. But since it was his birthday that day and his father did not want him to have his dinner alone in his room, that is why they came up with this foolish idea of having dinner in the dark. And he even apologized for startling the sailor. I am sorry, said I, as I reached across the table and gripped his hand, that I am such a fool, but it was only in the dark that you startled me. To this, the sailor apologized again and reached across the table. He held his hand and said he was such a fool, and it was only in the dark that the sailor was startled by him. He was not afraid of him any more. We never see a friend, said the old man apologetically. And the temptation to have company was too much for us. Besides, I don't know what else you could have done. Now the old man interrupted their conversation and said that they never see a friend, no one comes to their place to meet them, and sometimes they feel really tempted for a good company. We were soon as merry a party as I have ever seen. The night passed by rapidly. We could hardly believe our ears when, during the lull in the conversation, the clock in the hall struck 12. A last toast before we retire, said my host. The old man rose and gazed proudly at his disfigured son. To the health of the children, my boy saved, he said. Now, students, after sharing the secret, they all immediately got really comfortable in each other's company, and the time passed quickly. They could not believe their ears when they heard the clock struck 12. They then rose a last toast before retiring to their beds. The old man got up from his chair and gazed proudly at his disfigured son and said, to the health of the children, my boy saved. So, students, I hope you all understood this chapter. We will meet in our next class with another interesting chapter. Till then, as I always say, take care, stay home, stay safe.